It's yours. The world is yours. It's mine, it's mine. The world is this.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Leak, and oh my, I have been losing my damn mind over this chapter 24 joint, bro. Honestly, I've been trying to connect the pieces together so bad that I feel like I'm reaching, but at the same time, I feel like I'm actually onto something a little bit. You're gonna see in this video, but I think I'm kinda onto something. I don't know, I just say these leaks, right? These leaks, and what the devs are teasing is vague and it's not vague at the same time. It's vague because we don't know exactly what it is, and it's not vague because it's like we know what they're trying to do. At least I see what they're trying to do a little bit, especially with this picture, right? Like, come on, they did this on purpose. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, come on. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they put this here on purpose, bro. Come on now, let's be real here. They put this here on purpose. We know what they're up to, obviously, but I'm gonna go over my list. I literally jotted down a whole thing of ideas that I'm gonna go through in this video, bro. So let me not even waste time and let me go through this joint right now. So off the rip, we already know the chapter is 98.99999% original, right? We can see it here. Anniversary tome with 2 levels and anniversary lore. New Killer and Survivor are part of this tome with challenges for them included. Anniversary hooks / generators invitation, yada yada yada, right? What matters is this part right here. There's 6 reward nodes in this tome, which allows us to unlock 1 full outfit for Hattie and 1 full outfit for New Killer. It's like, you can see that this whole anniversary is very tone based. It's like, I doubt it's a license. I doubt it's like, maybe like I said before in the comment section, maybe we getting maybe a surprise paragraph or something like that. Maybe like in addition with this chapter though, like we getting a whole full original chapter. I'm pretty certain about that. I think that's actually happening. I don't know if we're gonna be getting a paragraph, like a license paragraph. I don't know. Will they squeeze 2 things in once? I don't know. Into 1 PTB? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure this whole anniversary seems very lore based. This whole chapter seems very lore based. Pretty certain we get an original chapter, right? And another thing is that the Observer, of course, just judging by this picture, has something. He has something to do with the chapter strongly, right? Obviously, like he's not there anymore. He's always sitting in that chair chilling with that little Doctor Strange joint, and he's just there vibing. Now the chair's knocked over. The whole arcade is looking a mess. He's gone. We don't know where he's at. Now look, I don't know if we probably get an Observer as a survivor or what, but I do know that he takes a strong part in this chapter for sure. I'm 100% certain about that. Otherwise, this wouldn't have been the profile background joint. They're teasing it mad hard. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they seem pretty hype about what's coming for this anniversary chapter. I know that for certain. You know what I'm trying to say? Another thing that we also know for certain is we know, obviously, because they posted it a long time ago, we know the survivor is Hattie Core. We know who she is, right? And if you don't, let me just go up here. I was doing a little bit of my research, not gonna lie, losing my mind a little bit. If you don't, it says it right here. Hattie Core is featured in multiple tome and entries in the archives where her adventures are followed by the Observer. If you didn't know that, now you know that, right? You also know that Hattie is a time traveler / paranormal investigator. It says it right here. Hattie is an Indian psychic investigator who is focused on in various tome entries. She creates the Harbinger of Hell Web series where she investigates paranormal phenomenon and historical tragedies, as well as working to expose the Black Veil across various realities. Now look, the Black Veil is going to take a huge part in this video. I'm going to explain why as I get done with this list that we already know. Now what we also know is that the killer has something to do with lockers. Obviously they posted it here. Another thing to address that I kind of overlooked is that the Observer is not narrating Tome 11. You can see it here in this post that I overlooked like by a long shot because I just didn't understand it, the audio at all. I was trying to piece it together in my head. I did not understand the audio whatsoever. It didn't give me not one clue as to what anything could be. I don't know who's talking. I don't know if it's Hattie or any other hidden character, but in the caption it says, moreover, Tome 11 is narrated by unknown voice actors / rest instead of Observer. So we know for sure Observer is definitely not narrating Tome 11, for sure. That's what makes me think that he might be a second survivor. And notice how I say second survivor and not killer, but I'm gonna explain why in a second. Now we get into the spicy stuff, the delicious stuff, you feel me? I watched this polyester video when it came out, but I didn't think about it too much, you know what I'm trying to say? But what he said makes sense. So I'm gonna play what he said and I'm gonna tell you what I think.
This at the 6, it looks like it's all made up of a bunch of other tiny little 6s, except for that one part there. That kind of looks like a music note. But for the most part, what I'm getting from this is a bunch of 6s, and to me, this conveys that imagery of the Dead by Daylight multiverse, an infinite amount of universes that the entity draws people into the fog from parallel universes. And we've heard rumor that this is going to be a lore heavy chapter, so I think all of those 6s symbolize that multiverse for Dead by Daylight.
Really makes sense, right? It makes sense. You could tell, you see the 6 and you see multiple 6s inside that one 6, right? Now what he said makes sense, I'm not gonna lie, but that still is very vague to me, because it's like at that point it could still be anything within what he just said. Like it could be, it's not a specific answer. He just said that it's like a multiverse. It could be anything that represents or that could come out of that universe and go into the entity's realm and just become the killer whatsoever. When I saw this, right, and I read a little bit into Hattie's lore, right, you see that she's trying to expose the Black Veil, right? Now I'm gonna click on Black Veil. What is the Black Veil, you probably thinking right now? The Black Veil are a secret organization in various realities. They have appeared in numerous lore entries and been called many names, such as the VAC label and the Black Serpent Society. They have controlled governments and operated as a multinational enterprise. So that's a little brief summary of who the Black Veil are, in case you didn't know, which I'm pretty sure most of you do know, right? Now, the Black Veil is an organization, it's multiple people, right? So it's like when I look, right, and I know I'm not bugging, when I look at the 6, right, you see multiple 6s. I guess you could kind of see what I'm getting at here, right? The Black Veil is an organization full of like is different people, but they're like a legion. They all represent one thing. They all group up to one thing, right? Notice how there's one 6, of course, right? And there's multiple 6s inside that one 6. So what if, right? What if the multiple 6s represent the Black Veil and we're getting the Black Veil as our killers for the next chapter? Kind of far-fetched, I'm not gonna lie, but I just had to think about that for a second. Cause I'm like, multiple 6s in one 6? That is weird, but I'm not gonna lie. What Polyester said, it makes a lot of sense too. It's like I could totally be wrong, and he could totally be right about what he's saying. I'm really not trying to make a right or wrong thing, but I'm just trying to make a suggestion here, right? It's like, is it too far-fetched though? Like, can we possibly get the Black Veil? What are they gonna do? You know what I'm trying to say? Now, another thing about the 6, right, that I've kind of noticed. Look at the shape of it. I know that a lot of people, they don't want to really judge the 6 anymore, or possibly they do. Who am I to say, right? I really don't want to judge the 6 too much, because I know they're not always going to follow that pattern every single year. But doesn't the 6, bro, look very similar to this? It looks very similar to Entity Centrioles, bro. Look how close that resembles the Entity Centriole, right? You got this part, right? It's big. It comes up, right? It's like, you got this, right? You got the spike part, whatever. It comes up like this, is very wide at first, and then it starts to get very thin as it expands. Look at this. Very wide, then it's very thin as it gets to the end. Same thing here. So I'm like, this chapter is original, bro. If you think it's licensed, come on now. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I heavily doubt it's licensed now for sure. This looks extremely similar, and this is gonna be the last thing I really base the 6 off of. I don't want to go into the 6 a little too much, but I just had to look for a second, and yo, it really looks very similar to Entity Central. I think that's literally just what it is. I think it's just an Entity Central, just shaped as a 6. I think that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what they try to do here. It looks very similar. I know everybody is saying that it looks pretty similar to Alien and stuff, but it's like with all the stuff with all this news and leaks that we getting, I kind of doubt Alien is coming. I mean, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say for the last part of the video, but this looks very similar to the Entity Central. I'm not gonna lie. And that just makes me think that makes me know actually that the next killer is gonna strongly relate to the entity in some shape, way, or form. Whether it is surprisingly the Observer or the Black Veil or any other type of creature, spider, vampire, they relate to the entity strongly because of the simple fact that bro, you can't sit there and tell me that's not an Entity Central, bro. But this how it looks, bro. Like, the killer's gonna relate to the entity in some shape, way, or form. Somehow. They're gonna strongly relate to the entity. I know it for sure. Another thing is the skull. Now, I know some people said that the skull looks like Remnant from FNAF. That's a possibility, but come on. I mean, I really don't think we're getting a license this year. I'm really not trying to, like, burst nobody's bubbles. But, you already know what I said about the whole Chapter 25 thing. I'm gonna get into that at the end of the video. But when you look at it, right, I think it's just, this one is just really simple. I think the skull just closely resembles the tome in the archives color. Just within the skull, just looking at the 6, like saying, yeah, something from the tome or archives is about to be the 6th anniversary. That's gonna be the chapter. I think that's simple because it has that same type of color scheme as the tome archives covers and stuff like that. That one is a simple brush. I could see what they were trying to do here with the skull. This is my final suggestion / little theory, right? This one might take a bit of a shift in what the killers can be. Now, this killer got suggested already, but this is more proof to back it up a little bit, theory-wise, speculation-wise. Look at this tome scene. Just watch this. Very, very interesting. Now, off the rip, has something to do with books. I already know. You could expect what I'm about to say here. The Observer was able to transport himself into a book and spectate what's happening within the book. Off the rip, my little theory, and I mentioned this before as well, I'm starting to think the Observer also possibly discovered the Babadook. Now, my theory is that he transported himself. Well, he found the book, right? He started reading it, and then he transported himself into the book and started spectating it for himself with his own eyes instead of reading words or looking at pictures. Then, all of a sudden, something went wrong, and the Babadook followed the Observer out of the Babadook's book, the Babadook followed the Observer into the archives. They had a little tussle, and the entity somehow just got them both, and that's what's happening right now. But my only thing about this theory is that how does Hattie come into play? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, where did Hattie come from? If Hattie is quote unquote the survivor, it's like, how can that theory even make sense? You know what I'm trying to say? Because of the fact that it doesn't really incorporate Hattie. So it's like, where in the world did Hattie come from? She just was put there. You know what I'm trying to say? That's really my only thing. But yeah, those are my thoughts as I'm over here just busting my brain trying to figure out what this chapter 24 killer could be, or a chapter could be overall. This joint is it's so stressful to think about, bro, because we just don't know what it is. I'm over here, I don't even know what it is. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm over here just speculating, having fun, putting my ideas together. It's very stressful though, because it's like you just don't know what it is. You know what I'm trying to say? You have to go through so much to try to figure out what it could possibly be. But then it's like, you just don't know. It could be the simplest thing, yet we think it's like the most unexpected thing in the world. And what we're just looking at the killer's just dead in our face. It could just be something as simple as a vampire, and I'm over here just overthinking everything. That's the thing, we just don't know. If these devs was a bit more like open to the anniversary, then I'm pretty sure we would get a good grasp of what the killer could be. At this point, their teaser, they do a good job teasing. I gotta give them props for that. They do a good job teasing. They make their teasers so vague to the point that it makes you question literally every single tweet that they post or anything like that. That's how if it gets you that way, that's how you know that they're doing a good job, because it's like your mind is constantly questioning everything. You know what I'm trying to say? Which is a good thing on their part, but it could literally be the most simplest thing, and I'm just here overthinking it. I'm still gonna take everything into consideration though. Wherever we get, I'm gonna post what it is and what I think about it. I'm still gonna consider everything, even though I might not think that's what it is. I'm still gonna consider it and show it regardless, and just tell you my thoughts. But yeah, anyways, about chapter 25, like I said in my previous video, I'm 92% sure that FNAF has a possibility in being chapter 25. It's always that special or anticipated license, or just chapter in general after the anniversary. It happened with Ghostface, and ever since Ghostface dropped, it was that same pattern regardless. I'm pretty sure they're gonna stick with it. It's always that little surprise chapter or anything like that after the anniversary. So if you're, like I said before, if you're upset that the chapter is original now, I'm pretty sure chapter 25 is going to be licensed, and I'm pretty certain it might just be FNAF. It could literally be anything else, honestly. It could be Candyman, it could be Alien, it could be Evil Dead, it could be a game license. It could be anything, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it could literally be any type of license. It doesn't have to distinctly be FNAF, even though FNAF, I assume, is the most requested chapter for DVD right now. It may be an issue with the licensing. Even it could be the most requested all at once, but the licensing is what counts. If they don't get that license, if they don't come to an agreement with the license holders, we're not getting no FNAF. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we're not getting no FNAF nothing. And if anything, we just gonna have to move on from that. I hope we do end up getting FNAF soon. I really do hope it is as a prior chapter for chapter 25. But if it's not, and we really don't get FNAF, I guess we're just gonna have to move on from that. Let me know what y'all think about what's going on right now with chapter 24, the whole speculation joint, the vagueness. I'm confused, I'm losing my mind, I'm tired, bro. This is when it comes to these anniversary joints, bro, can I just mention that it's just insane, bro? Like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be just like the Silent Hill joint. They're not gonna show anything until the anniversary, and they're just gonna keep us anticipated for it, and they're not gonna show anything at all. That's what I assume they're gonna do. If anything, they'll probably show us a small thing within Twitter tweets. No videos, no teaser, no chapter 24 teaser, nope, none of that. I think they're just gonna tweet something, a little tease, and that's it. And it's still gonna be the vaguest thing in the world. But anyways, love y'all, take care. Let me know what y'all think, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace.
To the beat, y'all.
Check it out.
Come on. 1, 2.
1, 2, yo.
what you're going